Oh man, she was love. She was light. When it was like everywhere we went, when people saw us for the first time, they would say, "You guys look so much alike."
York County investigators say someone kidnapped the 25-year-old mother of two from Richmond.
We cooked dinner, we laughed, we joked. No signs, not a sign in the world that anything like this was going to come about.
Welcome to Seriously Criminal, a true crime channel where we cover unsolved crimes, chilling murders, mysterious disappearances, and more. My name is Amelia, and I am your host. Tyosha Mitchell was born on April 30th, 1998, and lived in Richmond, Virginia. Nicknamed TT, she was an optimistic and cheerful young woman who loved spending time with her family. Tyosha was a mother of two young girls, and they all resided on Bethel Street in the Whitcomb Court neighborhood in the east part of Richmond. Maintaining a close relationship with her mother, Patricia Troy, was important to Tyosha.
That was my twin. It was like everywhere we went, when people saw us for the first time, they would say, "You guys look so much alike."
The two often saw each other, and Tyosha made sure they talked regularly over the phones since Patricia worked in Alexandria, Virginia. Patricia came to Richmond for Easter of 2023 and spent the weekend with Tyosha and her granddaughters.
Last saw my daughter on Easter, and we had an awesome time. We had Easter egg hunt, we cooked dinner, we laughed, we joked. No signs, not a sign in the world that anything like this was going to come about.
Tyosha loved cooking, singing, dancing, and trying out different hairstyles. Shockingly, she was also a member of a local gang. But by the end of April, the gang members weren't getting along at all. On Saturday, May 6, 2023, at 6:30 a.m., York Poquoson Sheriff's Office got a call from a jogger on Old Williamsburg Road. The person saw a body 10 feet from the road near the woods between Riverwalk townhouses and the Colonial Parkway entrance.
Deputies say a jogger found Mitchell's body around here on Old Williamsburg Road.
Deputies arrived at the scene quickly and secured the surrounding area to preserve any potential evidence. And it was evident the cause of death was multiple gunshot wounds.
York County investigators say someone kidnapped the 25-year-old mother of two from Richmond and shot her multiple times in York County.
The inspection of the scene revealed 14 bullet casings scattered on the road. A resident who lived close by approached the deputies and said they had heard several gunshots just before 4 a.m. The victim didn't have any identification with her, but the deputies used a portable fingerprint scanner. York Poquoson Sheriff's Office identified the body as 25-year-old Tyosha Mitchell from Richmond. The local law enforcement managed to reach her grandmother, who was devastated by the news. She provided the investigators with more information about Tyosha's life and urged them to talk to her boyfriend. York Poquoson Sheriff's Office contacted the Richmond Police Department, which called Tyosha's boyfriend and brought him in for an interview the same day. He was in contact with them since the early morning hours after placing a 911 call. As expected, the man had valuable information about the events that led to Tyosha's death. According to him, Tyosha called at 1:30 in the morning on May 6, asking if he could come to her apartment. When he arrived there, Tyosha explained she was in the process of being beaten out of a gang. Earlier, a group of 3 young women and 1 man arrived at her place and proceeded to attack Tyosha.
Court records reveal that 3 women showed up to Tyosha's Richmond apartment on May 5th to beat her out of the gang.
The beating was supposed to last 31 seconds. During the attack, Tyosha didn't try to defend herself. Instead, she fell to the ground, but the male gang member held her up. The group left Tyosha's home shortly after. The boyfriend confirmed everything was fine until 2:30 a.m., when the couple heard loud banging on the front door. Tyosha ran from the room to see what was happening, and her boyfriend followed. According to him, 5 people entered the house, 3 women and 2 men. One of the men was wearing a black mask. Thinking he might be in danger, Tyosha's boyfriend went to the bedroom and locked himself in. He then jumped out of the window to escape the assailants. Tyosha's boyfriend returned to her home several minutes later. Meanwhile, he had called the Richmond Police Department and waited for them at the front door. He noticed that the car in which the group arrived was gone, and he couldn't hear anyone inside the house. He assumed that Tyosha was kidnapped and taken to a different location. Luckily, the boyfriend remembered the assailants were driving a black Hyundai Sonata. The investigators learned more about Tyosha's involvement in the gang based in Norfolk, Virginia. They called themselves Mad Stone Bloods and were affiliated with the Black P. Stone Nation gang. Tyosha and the group that entered her home belonged to the Vietnam Baby Gorilla gang, and she was the highest-ranking female member. The boyfriend could only guess why the group returned to Tyosha's place after the first beating. He speculated that one of the female assailants was jealous of Tyosha's relationship with her partner. Hoping to find more physical evidence, Richmond Police Department obtained a search warrant and went to Tyosha's apartment in Whitcomb Court. The officers noted that the kitchen area was cleaned recently, namely the floor. A bucket and a mop were left in the room. During the search, police found 9 cell phones, which were sent for analysis. A blanket was hanging from the bedroom window, which corroborated the boyfriend's story of the escape. Neighbors from the apartment complex confirmed they heard loud shouting between 2 and 3 a.m. Since the police knew the make and model of the car they were looking for, Richmond Police Department collected video surveillance footage from the area. They immediately spotted the vehicle in question and had the registration number. Furthermore, one of the taillights was broken, which made it easy to find on other videos. The movement of the black Hyundai Sonata matched the timeline provided by the boyfriend. The investigators tracked the vehicle to York County with the help of traffic and surveillance cameras. The police started searching for it on the evening of May 6 and informed the Norfolk Police Department to be on the lookout. The following morning, Norfolk police officers stopped the car with the matching registration number. Inside were 3 young women, including the owner. The officers had a search warrant and they seized the vehicle. The forensic examination revealed evidence that confirmed the connection between Tyosha's murder and the black Hyundai. Inside were cell phones, a black mask, and a shell casing. The ballistics revealed that the 9mm casing matched those at the crime scene. While law enforcement worked on catching the killers, the medical examiner conducted the autopsy. They concluded Tyosha Mitchell was shot 8 times and had bruises on her body consistent with a beating. Tyosha's boyfriend told the investigators he knew one of the unmasked men who entered the apartment on the night of the murder. His name was Hezekiah Carney, and the two were acquaintances. As a matter of fact, the two had met through Tyosha. Carney was 24 and living in Portsmouth, a community across the Elizabeth River from Norfolk. Furthermore, the surveillance footage collected from a 7-Eleven in Newport News confirmed Jamaica Langley and Acacia Jackson were in the black Hyundai. Langley was 24 years old and Jackson was only 18. A detailed inspection of the cell phones from Tyosha's apartment provided the investigators with group chats between the murder victim and the rest of the gang. Carney, Langley, and Jackson were placed under surveillance by the police and arrested on May 9. Carney already had a long rap sheet and was convicted of discharging a weapon at a residential building in Norfolk 3 years prior. He was a suspect in a killing that happened in Norfolk a couple of years ago. At the time of the arrest, Carney was armed and in possession of illegal substances. The firearm was taken in as evidence since it could be a murder weapon. On May 12, officers from Richmond Police Department arrested their 4th suspect, 20-year-old Jaquan Jones. Jones, Carney, Langley, and Jackson were charged with second-degree murder and conspiracy to commit a felony. Finally, Donisha Goodman, the owner of the Hyundai Sonata used in the murder, was taken into custody on June 9 after she turned herself in. The investigators believe she was the getaway driver. Goodman faces the same charges as the rest of the group. The investigation is still ongoing, and the police stated there might be more people involved in the murder of Tyosha Mitchell, considering her gang connections. The motive of the murder remains unknown, but the investigators suspect it is gang-related. However, they are not ruling out the theory presented by Tyosha's boyfriend just yet. Preliminary hearings for the group are scheduled for September 12, 2023, during which the prosecution will present the evidence in front of a judge. The date of the trial remains unknown at the moment. Let me know your thoughts about this case, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.